Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe this is like only drugstore makeup. Look at this. Hi, good morning. My name is Leticia and we are here to do a full face of drugstore makeup. This is not my first impressions. I've used this makeup before, so it's like almost like a thorough review, but not in a very long way. More like a speed review of products that I know very well by now, and also that I'm most of them, very glad with. I do like or even love most of these products, and all of them are going to be drugstore. First thing I think I should explain is that I always try to go towards minimalism, so getting less products, but my collection was really small and I had to actually declutter a lot of things in the past because they were getting very old and they were like even smelling bad. So what's going on right now is that I'm trying new products from the drugstore because I'm trying to be very conscious about my budget and the money I don't have to spend on a lot of makeup. I'm exploring more drugstore, even more because nowadays the technology has evolved so much in makeup that drugstore makeup is not that much different from like high-end makeup. What does make a lot of difference, I feel, and you're probably gonna figure out if you didn't already, is the packaging. But most of them are holding their place with honors, I must say. So let's jump right into. First thing, I usually do use a primer. I start with a primer. I have two primers here today that, well, I guess one is a primer, so is the e.l.f. Niacinamide Power Grip Primer. It's very good, but I mostly use, and I've been using for longer, the e.l.f. Halo Glow, which is technically a highlighter. It says liquid filter. I like to use underneath my makeup. I like the glowy look. First, I like to use this primer, the Power Grip, just on this area because that's where I have more pores. So this primer is almost in the place of what I used to use before, which was the Benefit one, the poreless. But this is different. So I am using in its place, but this is mostly, I would say, compared to the Milk one, which is great, but I feel like the Milk one, it's so grippy that it's like full face of makeup every day with the primer, which is not usually the look I'm going for. I like the more natural look, sometimes a little like very natural aesthetic. So you can see, like, basically you can't really tell if there was a change of texture, but there is. Like, if I touch my face here, it's normal, like moisturized face. Here is like sticky, not much, but definitely sticky. One of the things I have to be careful with is that what can happen to the area of my nose is that it can get separated. So depending on the primer and base that I use, my nose, like the foundation or the concealer on my nose doesn't really stick, and you can see it's like another layer, which is really weird. But it does happen, so we're gonna figure out if that happens with this primer. Now for the highlighter, primer, liquid filter, I don't know what to call this. So I usually use it on these areas. I like to illuminate well, like this area under my eyes. So I guess it's because like I have a little bit of hollow eyes. I always had like dark under circles. It's absolutely not connected to sleeping well or sleeping well. Of course, if I sleep poorly, it will be worse, but it's not why I have them. It's genetics. I think my skin is just too thin on that area. So what I do, usually I just tap product in, any product, but for this I concentrated like on this area, which is the area we usually highlight or apply blush or even bronzer and contour, but I go down here in the area that will be mostly concealer area because it helps to brighten that area. In my nose and in this area in the middle, like here in the T of my forehead. Whatever I have left, I just apply a little bit on the Cupid's bow area. And you can see even more shiny now. If you don't know, this is the Rare Beauty brush which I love. I apply all my face products with this. I don't know, 3 or 4 containers of brushes I collected over like, I don't know, 20 years. But this is the one I always apply face products with. And if it's dirty, I just wash and go back to it. Yes, you can see like how it was shiny before, but now it's even more shiny. I really like it. It's not like you can't see any type of flakes of mica or anything like this. It's mostly because it's just like a pearlescence, I suppose, and I really, really dig that type of look. So, sorry, I keep looking down here because it's my mirror, okay? Another detail about me is that most of the days, because I go for that fresh look, that natural look, I don't use foundation. But I do like hydrating concealers. The Kosas is one of my favorites, like everyone's favorite almost. But I've been trying and testing the e.l.f. Hydro Camo Concealer. I have 2 colors. I got light sand and light beige. So light sand, I don't know if you can see, I think you can. It's this one, which is almost a little more curly. And this one is closer to my skin tone. So what I do is that I like to use this one on my dark circles because it's a little more rosy and peachy, and it helps to, I don't know if you can see, but the orange will help on the purple. It's blue, purple, and even a little pink, this area under my eyes. But the pink is not a big deal. The purple and the blue are what like makes it like dark and more shadowy looking. And then I use the light beige in the rest of my face. Like sometimes I have to like spot concealer, like my acne and my acne scars are much better, but they're still here. So sometimes like I have an acne popping like this, so I have to just spot conceal, and that's it. One technique that I've been trying lately, it's a technique by Amanda Z, where she kind of lets the concealer set. I've seen other people using, but she was the first one that explained like for dark circles. So she applies the concealer only in the dark areas and she lets it set. So here is the one to help correct, right? And she just lets it set and she goes do other things in her life, and then she comes back a couple of minutes after. This concealer is good to do that. It's hydrating, so it doesn't like dry too fast, so fast that you can't blend. It still looks good. And while this one's set, let's do the other one. So I don't use much face makeup, but I apply a little bit on the T. I like applying here on this area. For me specific, I didn't used to do that, but because now this is the area of where most of my scars are, and acne scars. So that's where I'm applying, or I'm focusing most of my makeup. And I had to do it here too, because I have a lot of redness around here. And I discovered, as for dark circles, it also works for acne and other areas like that are a little more complicated for me here. So I just let it set a little bit. I start blending other areas and then I go in. So I go back to my Rare Beauty blush. And I'm gonna start through areas that are less problematic. I don't know if you noticed, I didn't apply much product. I basically tried to use mostly what was already in the brush of the product, and I didn't keep going in and getting more. It's basically because I don't have patience to be applying in my hands and then spreading them, like the product, in my face, so you can control that you're using actually less product. So because I don't like doing that, what I do is that I just try not to like go in and get more product. So areas that need less coverage, like my forehead, like less amount of product I use, the best it looks in the end. So what I do is just like very little pigment, you see, almost nothing. I just did a small V here, and that's it. And now I go for the most problematic areas, which is this area around my nose, because I blow my nose a lot. So I'm trying to let it stay there so it doesn't brush away as easily as it would. It helps, it's not perfect, but I'm not looking for like locked in makeup, just good makeup. And nose. And I'm going in for the eyes. As you can see, absolutely no problem blending. In the eyes, I actually applied more concealer, and that's because I actually spread it throughout the area. She says just pat it in place, but I have less patience than that daily, so that's what I actually do. And I also use it to illuminate this triangle. I know that every face shape is different, but this traditional technique, I actually kind of like it on my face. Illuminating under the eyes, for me, it's something that I think flatters my face. I just let it sit there. And I also use it in my eyes. They are very veiny. In the end, I guess it's kind of a primer in a way. It just like helps the makeup stay, but also because I daily basis I don't use that many eyeshadows, so it just gives that, you know, that air that is like one color in the skin. Nowadays, oh, I don't believe I forgot it. I'm holding hair for my face like a crazy person while I do have a headband sitting right next to me. Great. Anyways, I don't have any powder that is drugstore because I don't use powder that much. I started to use powder very recently and just a little bit under the eyes, but it's not a necessary step for me, so I don't have them. So the next step for me would be like bronzer slash blush slash contour. For me, it's just like one big thing. That's how I do it. You can see I have the little bags. It's not perfect. The technique didn't cover 100%, but it covered pretty well. Now I will go for blush. Usually I would use a cream blush to start, which is almost a bronzer color for me. I like that bronzer look, but they are kind of a surprise. I don't want to use them in this video, and some of them are not drugstore. So I am using today Essence, the blush, in the color Befitting, which is number 10. I like to apply it with blush brush. This is a Refer one, number 4. I like this color because it's really similar to what you would see in a face. So it almost it's very blushy on me, but it's a natural blush. So let's see. Yes, even with powder, I prefer applying product like this. My skin can have dry patches, and if you do circular motions like that, it raises the skin. So it's not such a good technique for my type of skin. If you don't mind, go ahead. But for me, I noticed that this type of applications looks much more like smooth and natural. And I go really gently because with powder blushes, you can go overboard really fast, I feel like, and it's a little more difficult to fix it. Even more, I don't have a powder right here, so. Oh yeah, I do apply blush on my eyes too, because I think it helps the makeup look more natural, almost like a no makeup, and also like puts everything together. It's like, oh, this is a color family. I applied enough of the blush, and it's a little more what I apply usually, but it's also like reads better on camera. So this is the color, is like very like natural, almost like, oh, you just, you know, you have a fever. I apply my eyes too, and here in the middle. But now I'm noticing something that is exactly what I was talking about. I don't know if the camera will capture very well, but you can see my nose. Like I can still feel the grippy primer. The camera was probably not gonna be able to show, but it does change the texture around here in this area where I applied the Power Grip Primer. I do feel like it gives like a kind of, the makeup sets really weird when that happens. Like the camera doesn't really pick it up. I'm looking here in my mirror and I can see it. I didn't have this primer for as long as the time as I had the highlighter, but you can see like here I have to scratch to take out a piece of fluff that was here and took out the makeup, and now the makeup looks really weird. It's like getting to my texture, setting in a really weird way. Those are exactly the places where I use the Power Grip, this area. And I feel like if you look at my cheeks, the highlighter looks okay, looks very good, but this area here looks a little weird. This area here, like, I don't know, it kind of ages my skin in a way. Well, I'm just saying like how I feel, because even though I'm here in the camera, like most people don't record videos or don't live recording videos. So if you go out in the world, it might bother you, like how you feel and how other people see your makeup. My next blush is the Milani one. I finally got something from Milani, a very unique product at that. This is the Luminoso Baked Blush. I always wanted to know what the hype is, but I was afraid because it is pretty orangey. It's peach. And peach can look very peach on me. So I have to be a little careful, but I do like it. I do like how it looks, and I just can't use too much. It's also much more pigmented than the last one. It looks pretty natural on camera. Like, I applied more to read on camera, like in a normal day I wouldn't apply this much, but the color payoff is the same. The texture is pretty good. You can't really detect the product to be like, oh yeah. I mean, you can see the zone, but you can't really see like, oh, this is the texture of the product. And I like that. I have some other products here that really surprised me. I'm talking about eyeshadow. This Essence palette in My Rose Will Go On. I can't even. And nothing compared to Nude. They're great. I don't use the rose one as much, but like for a very simple eye, it's almost like a Korean Japanese makeup vibe where the eyeshadows don't have as much pigment. But they're great colors. Can you see? Like, they are so universally flattering because they are kind of neutrals, a little bit warmish neutrals, but I think for most people they would look good. I'm going for a simple eye, so I'm gonna use this one. It's almost like a setting layer. Since I applied concealer on both my eyelids, I kind of need that. And I also I haven't set the under eye, so I like using this eyeshadow that is almost the same color on my own skin, just to set under eye. I don't go very low because depending on the eyeshadow, the texture might really get into your dark circles and make them look cracked during the day. Then I come with this one. Oh, they haven't 15 days. And I'm going to do the mildest demarcation in my eyes, just trying to build a higher shadow here because my eyes are hooded. So what I'm going for is just making them look a little less hooded. So I'm bringing the shadow higher. It's it's almost no noticeable. Something else that I'm very careful about is because I have hooded eyes and they're a little downturned. If it's very easy for me to get too low, because too low is not as low as it is for other people. Even when I'm right beside my eyes, because they fall and they are downturned, it's a little low already and already brings my eyes down. So I have to be very careful of that. If I do make a mistake, what I tend to do is just come with whatever I have already in the brush and just clean up a little bit. So far, we have a very basic eye and we're gonna finish it, but not now. So now, what I want to do is try this e.l.f. eyeliner. It's Intense Ink eyeliner, and I tried it once before. This really looks clickable, but it's not. This is very frustrating. But I looked at this and I was like, wow, this is so cool. Wow, different. I didn't like it. There's not enough pigmentation. This is a big fail. I'm gonna try it again, and if this doesn't work, I have another product. Let's see. Okay, just to start, it's pretty good. And it's already failing me. Okay, it's better now than it was at the first time I tried using it, so let's try see if I can save it. I didn't notice any benefit of having like such a big point. It might be that I'm not using it correctly, but my eyes are pretty small, so I don't have enough eye space for that. This is what we have so far. You see, like, this product does not get black. Like, some people I know, they are really into like super black eyeliners, and this is not really it. If that's what you're going for, this is not. Also, I have to fix a mistake here. So what I tried doing here was just applying the tiniest bit of concealer. I do have something that can save the day, possibly. Just to be clear, I left this upside down, so with the point down, so all the tint would fall, so it would give it the best chances, because if I let it stay like this, then there's no tint. And another problem that I noticed with this is that I tried like repainting this part, and sometimes it would like scratch it out. It's like not the best. So I do have this one that I also received recommendations for, CoverGirl Exhibitionist. So this is the color black, matte black. I used it before. I don't remember very well, but I really liked it, and I think it was blacker. So let's see if we can save this. Oh yes. Because I think the thing about a wing is that it has to look intentional. It can't look like I kind of drew a wing, but it's kind of fading. It just looks weird. Then just do it with eyeshadow and blend it, and it looks fine. But like the black one looks really weird if you do that. Forgiving me the fact that I'm very bad at doing this, because I don't do this very often. The eyeliner, the cat eye, like I really like it, but I'm not really good at like doing it symmetrically, because my eyes are very asymmetric. I know it's not very noticeable, but because they are hooded and also downturned, they are a little asymmetric, and I have to actually correct for that, which is really hard. I don't know, but even if you take this out of consideration, just like look at how much more black it is and how much easier it was. So even if you take this out of consideration, like my lack of abilities, just look how much blacker it is. The only thing that I think is difficult with this is the point. I like the very thin like point. That's very difficult for me, which I think is a little easier with this one. So there you go. I haven't found the perfect eyeliner yet in the drugstore. Like, I accept recommendations. I don't know if you can see, but the point is not really that pointy. It should be much more like sharp than that. I don't know, maybe it was the one I bought. I don't know. Anyways, this is the look so far. I don't do cat eyes daily. But because I had those two products and I wanted to show you guys, so that's why they're here. And they look kind of cute. It's just because my eyes are hooded and downturned, they are almost invisible. You can see only that, look, this line is turned up. But I like it, it's cute. What I do like doing is going back with one of the shimmery eyeshadows, the lighter ones, and applying them on the middle of my eyes. I think, but I usually do that with my fingers, and I think that like brings the look like up. Also, it's always good to keep hydrated. I'm using this one. 7 Hours is not the lightest, but it's also not the darkest, and is a little bit yellowish gold. So now I'm going with the lighter one, which is Fancy Restaurant, because I'm gonna apply here in the inner corner. I really like that look for me. It's probably not like good for everyone, but I really like to brighten up the corners of my eyes. And sometimes I even push it like up here with the rest of what I have in my finger. I just like pull it. It's just enough. See, it's not like a super high impact. I like glitter, so sometimes I do go insane in the eyes. It's a really good basic. Even like if you don't care a lot about like, oh, I want super pigmentation. If you just want like basic looks that you like you look cute, but it's not like pop in your face. Wow, wow, look at the shine. And even if you're traveling, or if you have to like keep it in your purse, like maybe you like shower at the gym and you have to, you know, put your face of makeup before going to work, something like that, then this is great. I super recommend it. The rose will go on. It's not much different. It's just rosy, but it's super versatile too. Oh yeah, it's less shine too. It's only those two are shiny, the other ones are matte. But it's very realistic roses that actually happen on skin. The third palette, which I will not use it because I have no more space left in my face. But is this Revolution Reloaded Fundamental. I never tried Revolution before, but I think I've seen it in like Kaki Reviews Makeup or someone, I don't remember, but then I saw it in the drugstore and I was like, looks pretty good to me. Those colors are pretty much perfect. So I tried it and it's pretty good too. Same quality, I would say, very smooth. It's not like insane pigmentation, but let's try one of the glitters. Try this glitter. I think it's shade 12 with my finger. I don't know if you can tell, it's just a little bit more metallic. It's just giving me like a silver champagne right there in the middle. I know I have too much, but I just wanted to show you. We can use it in another video. It does have that smell of like kids makeup, but it doesn't, it's better than that. It doesn't perform as kid makeup. It's not Pat McGrath, it's not, but it's also not Pat McGrath's prices. I paid $20 for this, so not 200. So I guess it's a good difference in quality and in price, and it's probably worth it for a lot of people. I think it looks pretty nice so far. Not biased at all. Sad but true, I don't really have a drugstore mascara. I had one. I have the big e.l.f. one, the purple, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the brush, and I tried using it recently and it got dry after like 6 months or so, which is fair, but it looks beautiful now, but then it flakes and I look like a panda, but like a panda. Like it wasn't me and also my sister, we used that the same day, and both of us, and hers was like it fell all over, like literally flakes fell. So I don't recommend using it after a while, but it did look much better after it was dry at first application. So who knows, man? Maybe if you're gonna use it for 1 hour and then take it off. Now I'm gonna curve my eyelashes. I always try curving because I have the droopy eyes, so. And I'm going to use Essence Volume Booster. I've always been very interested in lash primers. I figured I should try this one because it's very cheap, and like even if it, you know, is not the best thing, I can still like use it and I wouldn't regret it. What I've been learning is that less is more with the primers. Well, with most things in life, but if you apply too much and you really cover them white, it's very hard to cover them completely in black after. So be very careful with the amounts I say that, and look what I do. Wow, that never happened to me before. That's great. That's just great. I just took out the excess and look what happens to me. I have a spoolie here to help. That goes my recommendation. It's not that this product is bad, but it never happened before, but try not to let it stay with clumps white like this, because if it does, then you won't be able to cover in black again, because you have to let it set. So just that small recommendation. Again, I am taking out the excess. I don't know what happens. I have a feeling that this eye was going to be much better because it didn't come together. And now, I don't really have a mascara drugstore makeup. I do have one, but it's Brazilian makeup. I bought it when I was in Brazil and it's sensational. It's this Vizzela big mascara. Of course, I'm not recommending it here because it's like probably impossible for you to buy it. But if you can. I was thinking about doing a Brazilian makeup video. Maybe if some people request it. Who knows? So let's try to cover it. So the thing I like about this mascara is the brush. I like the fact that it's curved. It helps me a lot, and it's not too long. I'm less prone to doing mistakes, and also that is plastic and very separate. something that I always do because of the shape of my eyes is that I put more mascara from the middle to the end. And I try to curve, like brushing like this a lot, the edges, so it just turns up, like giving my bedroom eyes like a proper shape of bedroom eyes. It looks more like, you know, cute and almost sexy, but it's better, at least in my opinion, for me. Can you see, like, they don't look clumpy, but I also, like, I'm having difficulty covering everything. Like, I don't... The jury is definitely still out in primers for eyelashes. Maybe there's a better one, so I accept recommendations. I also accept recommendations for mascaras too. Thank you. Now to this side. I'm pretty sure that this side will work better. Let's see if I'm right. What I don't like about the primer is that it's so hard to go through after because it's dry, and it's like it never gives me the look I want. Like, I always prefer without it. So it's like, why am I using it? I don't understand what is this supposed to do? Make my eyelashes uglier? Is that why I'm using a primer? I actually try a K-Beauty one. I need to share with you guys later, and it like actually made such a big mess and clump of my eyelashes. Probably I'm not using it right, that I lost some eyelashes around here. It's like to try to remove it. It's like 15 minutes to try to remove it. It was bad. And I also have to cover now a little bit of my bottom ones. I do like doing that, but I don't do it every day. But because I got some primer, now they are white. I do like my bottom lashes like this though. It's not really a problem. And now I'll try to correct what the mess I made. I'm trying to separate them. And now, last but not least, no, it's not the last, but it's one of the piece of resistance. No, I don't know French. Don't quote me on that. Elf Wool Brow. This is the... I have it in a color neutral brown, and it's the best eyebrow gel with color. I only use the color one that I found, except for the Benefit one, but like $30 in eyebrow gel that I go through very fast. I don't think so. So I found a drugstore one, and I really like this one. I heard really good things about the Essence one because it has fibers, and I really like the fibers on the product. That's one of the reasons I was trying eyelashes primers. But anyways, I digress. This is really good. And it's basically, because I already have like kind of full brows, it's basically the only thing I actually use. I have all the variations that I will show to you in other videos, but this is my go-to daily. So I brush it so much in the front because I actually want to color the skin almost like with a little bit of smoke, because this is like, if you get this on your skin, you notice it's like a shadow. And it's really easy to spread and remove. So it's like the perfect thing for you to like actually get that smokiness behind the actually eyebrows. So it kind of colors the skin behind it. And I also try to complete the ends, because those are the two places in my eyebrow that are really like have less definition. And that's already enough for me, at least in my opinion, to have a really made up look. Like when I do that with my eyebrows, I think like every time I like correct them, like I fill them up and stuff, like they give me a like, whoop, wow, you applied a lot of makeup. But it's just because they are very dark in my light skin, and they are kind of thick too. So yeah, this product is like 11 out of 10. I love it. It doesn't have a super hold, like it's not gonna hold my eyebrow like this, though. They also, because my eyebrow is really stubborn, so I always have like some hairs going in weird directions, mostly here in the middle and the end. But I really like how it looks. I love makeup, but like even though this in video looks very cute, it's not really that cute in person. I'm gonna try to point out the places where I don't think this makeup is like snatched in person. What I was saying about my forehead, I can see the concealer kind of like getting attached to this patch in my face. I don't think it's, okay, it is visible. That's great, that's great. So you guys can see. I'm not really sure it's the concealer. It might be, I'm still trying it out. I did hydrate, like even after all my skincare, I did use like a spray, like to give back life to my face and give it a little more moisture before I started the makeup. Of course, there are chronic problems and stuff like that, but it's too fast to be reacting like that. I do think it has to do with the Power Grip Primer, but it can also be the concealer. The thing is, I did apply concealer in many places in my face, and I actually can see all the dry patches. Nice. So in this area, it's not super noticeable, but it is here. It is drying it up. And a little bit on the cheeks, where I do have scars, so I will have like that loose, flaky skin coming off. I'm not sure I like the Power Grip Primer for the under eyes. As I said, it's not really filling my pores, but I feel like the makeup is hovering over. So it's like the concealer right under my eyes in this area is not really like being one with my skin. It's just kind of like lying there on top. I don't really like that look. So I think this has to do with the Power Grip Concealer, which is more or less the same problem I think I had with the Milk one. They're extremely similar. But you know, if you're going to a party, you might need that look because you might need it to last like 3,000 hours. Who knows? For daily makeup, I don't like it. And also because I apply kind of under the eye area, this inner corner of my eye area, it tends to get dry because I already used this concealer in the under eye and I had no problem. But then again, the concealer is, you know, a little dry in other parts of my skin. So I guess what I'm saying is those are pretty good products. They do not perform worse necessarily than Sephora and like high-end products. No, they don't. The thing is, they might not be the correct products for my face. My face is pretty much mixed. Sometimes it does get oily around the nose, yes, but it does have a lot of dry patches. I do recommend these products, but you should moisturize and hydrate a lot. And even if you do have dry patches, might not be as good for you, the concealers. The primer, are you going for 3,000 hours of makeup? Then it will do the job for you. It will. It's just, you know, it's not the most natural makeup. If you're going for natural makeup, that's not the one you're looking for. Absolutely not. This one is like glowy skin makeup. I having a great day. Yes, this one will give you that. A must for me is like the finish and the end and the grand finale of this and any makeup is a setting spray. That's what gives me hope that my makeup would actually look good, and it usually does because it blends all the makeup together with my skin, and usually it works perfectly. So right now I'm trying the e.l.f. one. So this is the Stay All Night Micro Fine Setting Mist, and it's really thin mist, really good packaging. I love it. I don't know if you will be able to see. It's really fine. It's really, and it smells nice too. It is good. I like to use a lot, like a lot. That's the way that my makeup can get revived, you know, like bah. And that's the way that usually I correct those starting dry patches. I would say that that's a pretty important step, and this one is pretty good at it. I would recommend it for the price, for sure. I would recommend it. So you thought I was done, and me too, but I forgot the lips. I always forget the lips. So I have two very good recommendations for like natural lips. The first one is the L'Oreal Color Rich. This is in Glossy Fawn. It's really like color adjacent, colors that actually can happen on a person's skin, which is great to give you like natural look. But if you see, it's a little more brownish than my actual lips, but it's very moisturizing. I really like it. It's almost balmy. So it does add moisture, but it goes a little closer to a nude lip, which is not something I do appreciate on me. I have another one that is more like a lip color, which is the Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick in the color Rose Velvet. Rose Velvet, it looks dark, but it looks dark, but it's almost the color of my lips. And if I apply it gently, it will be, you see. I can give it just some taps or I can go full on. This is not a lipstick for super high, long stay. No, it's creamy, it's moisturizing, it's nice on the lips. It makes you feel good about it. It's a pretty natural lip color. So this is the finished look. Honestly, if you tell me, oh, this makeup was done only with Sephora brands, I would believe you. I really don't see that much difference in performance in most of these products, except for a couple, you know which ones I'm talking about. But even when you go to Sephora, like there are a lot of products you can pay a lot of money and have really poor results with. Like I don't think the question is anymore about like, oh, it's drugstore, oh, it's luxury. Like of course some luxury is like really luxury, but it's mostly about the package nowadays and where you go to buy it. A big thing in drugstore for me is like not all of them have, or at least where I go, most of the products you cannot try or actually see the colors and test it out, like open and have a tester. And that's a big thing for me because, you know, they are really bad at like displaying their colors. So I always look swatches online and that gives me a pretty good idea of what I should go for. But yeah, that's it. I don't know, what do you think? I think my makeup looks pretty good. That's the finished look. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, everything, anything, do whatever you want. I hope you have an awesome day and check out the next one because I have more tips for you. Bye.